From downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
Frustrations over gravel? Neighbors in Springfield Township are banding together tonight. They're protesting plans to build a sand and gravel mining business in their community. The neighbors say the proposed site along Ormond Road is just too close to homes and wildlife and could lead to dust, noise, and environmental issues. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Ty Steele.
And I'm Kimberly Gill. The township held commission hearing arguments tonight, both for and against the plans. Victor Williams was at tonight's meeting and spoke to residents.
Yeah, it does not look like much now, but this is soon where that gravel pit could be, and the people here totally don't want it.
Everyone is against this. The entire community is against this.
A proposed 422-acre gravel mine just isn't sitting well with the residents of Springfield Township, who decided to protest outside of a board meeting on Tuesday night.
This pit will be an environmental disaster. It'll be a sound disaster. There's just so many things wrong. There's no benefit to our community.
The mining area will only be 213 acres out of the 422, and extraction of gravel and other materials will take over 20 years in 5 different phases. Many, however, are worried about the long-term health effects over those 2 decades.
The silica dust that gets kicked up in the mining process can travel up to 5 miles. It's been measured at unsafe distances up to 5 miles, especially for kids. I got little kids. They are extremely vulnerable to this silica dust, and it causes cancer.
At a packed meeting with standing room only, board members were able to hear directly from those behind the project, with the Levy Group explaining their plan. But township officials want to learn more before a final decision is made.
All we have to do is have our planning commission and our board from Springfield Township reject the special land use permit. That's all they have to do.
In the meantime, the township is looking for an outside third-party environmental agency that can give its opinion on this project. The township is looking for that information before they make a final decision. Live tonight, Victor Williams, Local 4.
Definitely some strong emotions, Victor. Hopefully that third-party firm can provide some more clarity for the residents.
Tonight we are hearing from a man who's being called a hero. Security team member Jay Trombley sprang into action over the weekend when a gunman opened fire outside Cross Point Community Church in Wayne. Thanks to his quick thinking and the help of others, they were able to stop the shooter without anyone else being hurt. Trombley shared with us what it was like to confront the gunman.
The man outside turned and fired through the front glass into our lobby. God's hands protected me from what I've seen, the evidence through the tablecloths and the tables and the window and the marks on the walls and down the hallways. I don't know how I didn't get hit. And then I came back around. As I'm watching, I could see the man go down, but still had his weapons, and I engaged them.
That is just a short snippet of our 18-minute long conversation with Trombley. You can watch the full interview by scanning that QR code on your screen right now. You'll hear more about the harrowing moments leading up to the shooting and what happened after the shooter was killed.
All right, things are finally quieting down around Metro Detroit after those strong storms moved over the area this afternoon. It almost reached 100 degrees today outside, but we saw freeway flooding and trees down after those heavy rains and high winds blew through communities, knocking out power to thousands.
Some of you at home even sent us some my pics of what you were dealing with. One viewer in Livonia showed us their patio furniture that was picked up and thrown onto their garage. And over in Clinton Township, this tree here narrowly missed one home. Forewarned meteorologist Kim Adams has had a busy few days with this rain and the extreme heat. Kim, at least it looks like we'll see some improvement as far as the heat goes.
Well, the temperatures are going to be lower tomorrow, but the problem is we still have the humidity, and so we'll still have a heat index that makes it feel like it's in the 90s. Right now, it is just a muggy night, 77 in Detroit, 73 in Ann Arbor, and 76 in Pontiac, mid-70s in Monroe. Now tomorrow, just kind of off and on through the day, we have a chance for some showers and thunderstorms. We're not expecting widespread severe weather, but tomorrow's going to be an interesting day because not everyone gets the rain, first of all. And if we get enough sunshine, even though the high forecasted for tomorrow is 84, we could go a little higher than that. But if we keep the clouds around tomorrow, it might be trimmed back a bit because models are kind of all over the place, anywhere from highs in the 70s all the way into the 90s. So we're at 84. But as I said, I temper that with if you're starting to see a lot of sunshine weaving in and out of the clouds, that can heat us up really quickly in the atmosphere that we're in. So do expect another hot and humid day tomorrow. And we are under a marginal risk for severe weather, but not all of Metro Detroit, basically south of, I'd say, I-96, 96, under that marginal risk for tomorrow. A lesser chance than what we had today, but the chance is still there. As I said, tomorrow, even though we'll be in the 80s, we have heat indices that will make it feel like it's in the 90s. And by Friday, we go back to 101 for a heat index. So not really any relief in the immediate future, but we'll go searching in that 7-day forecast, see if we can find something.
Yeah, thank you, Kim. And as the heat and storms move out tonight, DTE crews are working to restore power to more than 15,000 customers. The energy provider says it has more than 1,000 crews out there working to restore the power. DTE says it even called in 400 out-of-state contractors to help with the restoration efforts. It says 95% of customers should have power restored by the end of tomorrow.
I-75 in Monroe County is back open after a deadly crash involving a semi-truck and MDOT vehicles. The crash happened this morning in Frenchtown Township near I-275 around 9:45. The semi-truck hit two MDOT vehicles, jackknifed, and spilled cans, aluminum cans, onto the road. The driver died at the scene and several MDOT workers are injured. Officers don't know what caused the crash, but the investigation continues. Detroit police, meanwhile, are on the hunt tonight for two men they say were involved in a shooting last night near the Ford fireworks. The shots rang out near Randolph and Larned just as the fireworks show was kicking off. Since then, we've learned two people were shot, a man and a woman. Police say the shooting started from a fight between two men, and now they're looking for the two people that you see there on your screen. Take a good look there. If you have any information, please call Crime Stoppers. That number is 1-800-SPEAK-UP.
The feds have just launched a civil rights investigation into a major healthcare provider right here in Michigan. But the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services isn't revealing which provider they're targeting just yet. They did say the investigation stems from claims that a medical professional was fired for requesting religious accommodations. Accommodations from things like helping with sex change modification procedures, which the employee opposes because of their beliefs. That investigation will focus on whether or not the health system has policies that violate workers' rights and pressures them to do things that are against their religious beliefs.
A hospital building that has been sitting vacant for the past 2 years is looking for a new owner. The old Connor Creek Health Center off East Outer Drive is up for auction. Some may also remember the building as St. John Northeast Hospital, which closed back in 1996. The sellers say the plot is already zoned for things such as apartments or assisted living facilities. The current winning bid is $500,000, but the auction doesn't close until Thursday.
Changes are on the way for 11 Mile Road in Royal Oak, and the controversial bike lanes we've been telling you about here at Local 4 will not be part of the plan. We've been following this story for months now. There were talks about adding bike lanes, which would take away a lane of traffic for cars. Some cyclists were obviously excited about that, but many residents were concerned about the impact on vehicle traffic, especially with 14,000 drivers using that road every single day. Instead, city leaders and city commissioners approved a design that will reduce 11 Mile from 4 lanes down to 3, add street parking, and increase green space. The project is expected to cost around $9 million, and the work is set to begin in the year 2027.
Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald is running for Michigan Attorney General. She says she's committed to protecting freedoms, upholding the law, and addressing major threats such as gun violence and human trafficking. She joins a growing field of candidates, including Washtenaw County Prosecutor Ellie Sabat and former U.S. Attorney Mark Totten. The winner of the 2026 race will replace Attorney General Dana Nessel, who is a Democrat.